Hello and welcome back to Kelly Loves K-Pop. I am Kelly and today we are going to be doing a personality reading on Yunjin from SSERAFIM. Thank you to the donator who hit up the Ko-fi page and asked for this. I appreciate you and bearing with me while I nailed out the details for that. I'm not as active these days, so thank you for your patience with me. Yeah, so just an apology too to the channel that I haven't been that active. I was sick and then it's kind of just been really busy and mentally I've just been kind of burnt out. So I've been not pushing myself to stay as active on this channel, though I do hope to get back to some form of regularity on here, but I can't promise you when that's going to be. So everybody who's still sticking with me, thank you so much. Again, I still offer readings on my Etsy shop. I have skyandthread.com. You can check out any information there. And yeah, the information will be in the details. So if you want to order a personal reading, I would appreciate that. It really helps. And again, if you still check out the Ko-fi page, you can make donations there. So, yeah, Yunjin. So we're going to do my 6-card, well, it's 12-card oracle reading. And we'll see, what we get from her. She seems to be one of the popular members from the SSERAFIM. And I believe I did a year ahead reading on them last year. So if I did, I'll make sure to link that up in the comments. Or not in the comments, link that. Well, I might link it in the comments, but in the, the little sidebar that they have. So I'll do one more shuffle in here. Actually, I feel like I haven't done like a personality reading in so long. I've done like ideal partners and stuff, which kind of are similar, but they're not, it's not the same. Hopefully that's all in the frame for you guys. Yeah, that looks good. And if the volume is kind of weird on this, I apologize. My recording equipment is also getting older and I haven't had the money to replace it as much as I would like to. So there might be some, hopefully by the time I'm done editing, it's not so noticeable. But if it is, I apologize. I'm doing the best I can with what I got. So let's go ahead and let me pull some cards for each of these. This one definitely came out for there. And just also be fair warned, I read the cards as they are, so I don't sugarcoat anything if they seem like they have, some flaws. That's normal. Like, please don't think I'm hating on these idols, honestly, especially when it comes to like 4th and 5th gen. I'm not really active in those fandoms, so I have no skin in that game. Trust me. I just read what I read. So, I'll pull these cards here. And these are rune-based cards for the Odyssey Oracle. What's it called? It's called the Runic Odyssey Oracle. And then I'm using my archetype cards underneath here. So the first card we get is the light attribute for Scribe, which is preserving knowledge, information, generosity, and balance for Gebel. And I might pronounce some of these runes incorrectly. I'm studying, but like I said, I have been going through some stuff lately, and I may not be as uh, up on pronunciation as I used to be. I feel like I'm kind of getting behind, so I got to brush back up on that stuff. So please bear with me. I appreciate it. Yeah. So she has like mentor energy, big sister energy right off the bat. Like she likes kind of helping others, especially I think in her craft. And scribe in general is not just someone who writes and records. They're not just someone who writes things like a musical writer, but they kind of record. So I do think if we hear more songs from her, it will continue in that vein of her kind of writing from personal experience. And in a way, I think she does that to help other people, and also herself. It's a back and forth for the balance. Both feel less alone and less stuck in whatever place they may be. So yeah, I think she writes with a lot of thought behind it, and she likes to share her experiences. Like I said, it kind of comes off as a sisterly or mentor energy for her. Like, kind of, I feel like if she can't physically be there for a lot of people, then she hopes the things that she writes or records kind of help with that, for that connection to people. And then we have artist in the shadow. So this kind of talks to, maybe she wants to be seen as an artist, so she may be trying to hide parts of her history or her upbringing. If she came from, I feel like she doesn't want to be known if she's kind of got a rich familial background of her family that kind of comes from money. A lot of newer, younger gen idols kind of come from money. It's just hard for people who, to afford to get into this these days with the world kind of the way it is. It also could mean coming from the company that she comes from. She doesn't want to be known as being from that company. She wants to be like kind of judged on her own merit. And then we have Destiny and Mystery from Perthro. So yeah, like to me that Destiny Mystery kind of comes from, she doesn't want to be judged on where she comes from, but who she is. As an artist, I feel like that's important for her. I also get a little bit of like, and I don't know if I don't want to say it's members or like, again, other people in the company that they're on, that they're saying like, don't connect me with them. I almost feel like, in a way, there's people around her, either, like I said, some kind of coworker. I don't know, like I said, in the group or just in the other artists in the company, that she definitely does not get on with it, and almost doesn't care. Like, she doesn't care about having the facade of getting along well, even though it might be pushed upon her. I feel like if it's up to her, she kind of has this thing too, where she's not here to really make friends, and she's not here to be fake friends. And usually that's a good thing, but it could also mean like not making friends or being rude to people that are kind of well to do in this industry. Could come back to bite her. So she just kind of needs to be careful about how much of that she shows outwardly. It can be a really fine game of being nice to people, making sure she's nice to people's faces. She doesn't have to be fake, but she does have to like kind of keep that air of like politeness, so that she doesn't burn bridges that could hurt her in the long run. If she gets a reputation that she's hard to work with, um, you know, it could not go well for her. So I think she just needs to be careful. I think she sees herself as a bit of a rebellious spirit, but that can be a double-edged sword. So then we have also Divine Child in the shadow. Yeah, this is about she takes criticism also probably more personally than she should. I think she tries to show a thick skin, but honestly, this transformation and renewal from Awas and the divine, the kind of shadow divine, shows she might let those insecurities get the best from her. We may see her like trying finding that it may change her even though she doesn't want it to. Like she may find herself still feeling the pressure to change her physical look or how much she shares with the public. Even though she doesn't want to cut that off, she may end up doing it because the negativity will just become too much, you know. I think she's sensitive inside and she wants to, like I said, have that thick skin. But I am just scared that with her trying to be so connected, it leaves her very vulnerable. And she kind of needs to protect that of herself. She's basically not as tough as she thinks she is. And emotionally, that's gonna hurt her. You know, we may see her take time off for mental health because she's just letting she's too exposed to the negative aspects of being a celebrity. But because I feel like she doesn't put the right protections in place because she thinks she's tough enough. Right? She wants to have that strong mental fortitude, but she needs to protect herself more. We have femme fatale and the light attributes. So, okay. So I want to be very careful how I say this. Again, she has a very like open heart, and she needs to be very careful. We have our waxing crescent. This is one of the moon cards that comes in this deck, and it's for like setting your intentions, which is also like setting your boundaries as well. Like know what you want while you're going out for it. Don't just leave yourself like kind of open. This is like a warning, like to be careful of who she is trying to attract into her life. Again, I get a lot of like, I think she thinks she's very strong and life may come at her like a sack of bricks. I feel like she kind of has her eye on someone and she needs to be very careful about who that is and what she allows them to gain from her. It could also be friends. It doesn't have to be romantic, but I think she has to be very careful of who she lets in her life because she is going to leave herself open. I'm seeing a lot of leaving herself open because she's trying to be tough. When instead of trying to be tough, she should be working to actually protect herself. Because now we have Don Juan. And humanity and awareness from Manas. Yeah, I see how this is about her having a lot of magnetism in the spotlight. The camera loves her, and she loves the spotlight. It's kind of a very symbiotic relationship. I think she's in the right career path for her. I hate to say it's like flirt, but in a lot of ways it is. I feel like she knows how to flirt while like performing and kind of use that kind of mature edge she has. I feel like there may be a part of either her or her marketing that paints her as a more like sexy member. So I feel like that is very in line with kind of how she sees her stage persona. So I think she likes kind of being like the edgier concepts, the darker concepts, the sexier concepts. I see she's in kind of that vein that suits her personality. It suits the kind of charisma that she exudes. So I see her liking that, and people like it from her. So that's in a really good cycle. I think she understands. I mean, obviously, there's always going to be negative feedback. You can't please everyone, but I think what her fans and kind of like what people enjoy from her, she pretty much understands that, and she's at peace with kind of giving that, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Obviously, I don't know these idols. I'm just reading the cards. Okay. But yeah, I think she likes those concepts, and it suits her and the kind of stage persona she has. Excuse me. We have the shadow for teacher. And notice, which is a necessity or need. It's almost like saying she's developed some bad or negative habits that maybe other people around her are learning. Like, I feel like it's not intentional. She doesn't know that they're bad habits. But people that look up to her might be picking some of those up. I don't know, I think this also points out there is a little bit of like a cruel side to her, where there's people out there that she either feels like competitive with, or people in the industry she doesn't like, and she's like, you deserve what you get, and there's a little bit of a nasty edge, and if she's not careful, like that can spread to other people around her that look up to her. I feel like if she has some negative traits, it could be infecting other people that's around her. And I hate to say it because I feel like there's an air of like gossip. Like she may like to talk about people she doesn't like, and that negativity can spread. Again, like I said, there's certain kind of scared that she has some people she doesn't like, and she might be a little too obtuse about it. I think she maybe just comes from a background where she's taught to be okay, it's okay to be very free with some of those words, and she just like, as far as personality goes, that's the one thing I see that reoccurs, that she needs to be careful. She needs to kind of maybe hide of that a little bit more. Like, don't interact with people you don't like, but don't also like let others kind of see like a possibly negative side to it, because it could come back for her. So like I see her really loving her fans, having a great connection with her fans, being in absolutely the right industry for her, because she really does like performing. She likes being charismatic. She likes people appreciating her for her talents, right? Like, she's not shy. She doesn't have like that imposter syndrome. I think she feels very strong and empowered on stage, and she wants to spread that. Sometimes she just needs to be careful. She's not too much, not on stage, but too much for maybe people, coworkers around her. So that's the only thing I see like with personality. I see her being very passionate about what she does and very serious. I think she works hard, and it just seems like it's very work focused, and she takes that very, very seriously. She's very passionate, and she has a lot of goals she's going after. So yeah, that's kind of the personality that comes to the surface right now. I don't see her being too distracted by other things. It just seems like right now she is about her work, and I'm not too surprised about that. I feel like they're constantly got something going on, which is good and bad. It's good for their notoriety, but it can be bad for their health if they don't get to take proper breaks. So I just hope that she gets to take the necessary breaks she needs. So we're going to do one more reading, just like a quick little energy check. I'm just going to pull a few cards. and see right now where her energy is sitting. All right, we're also going to do a reading, a little energy check. Sorry if I cut that awkwardly. I just started pulling cards and it just didn't feel very well shuffled. Like I said, I had to put my cards up for a while because we had different people staying with us, and like I said, some of these are not as warmed up as I usually like them. So I'm just going to shuffle this a little bit more and make sure we're good. Make sure we're nice and mixed properly. I also apologize if I'm saying Yunjin and her name is Yunjin or vice versa. Like I said, I know who she is by like pictures, and I can spot her like in videos and stuff. I'm not part of the fandom, so I don't know how to pronounce their names. What do I feel like? There's going to be something up in the air about an upcoming comeback. It's almost like, I feel like are they just now having one? I feel like they just had a comeback. But there's something going on with the next one. Like they're already talking about it. Oh my goodness, okay. It feels like there was a big change in something coming up either with the next comeback or the next form of promotion they're doing. But it feels like it's something necessary to move them forward, but she feels like she's losing out on something. Like if there was like a continuation, you know, some albums are like a 2-part album or something, and instead of doing the second part, they decided to totally change to go forward with something else with a different concept or a solo someone's getting. If she thought she was going to get something and it's getting given to someone else. The star is really her chance to shine, her chance to kind of have her moment of fame. But the moon means there's something secretive about it, or there was some kind of change behind her back. Because then the High Priestess reverse and the Ten of Pentacles reverse also speak to something you thought you knew. Now you feel like you've lost that connection. You've lost again, like lost out on this big chance that you had planned out or you really felt was yours. Seven of Wands also kind of talks about you kind of feeling like you're having to fight for something or defend yourself in some way. So I don't know if she feels like it's a punishment for something she said or did, so she got something taken away from her, or something was changed. Excuse me. Something was changed in a way that's kind of a punishment to her. With the Wheel of Fortune and the Chariot, it means they're still going to move ahead with something that's going to be kind of lucrative and still make money. It's still going to push her along in the long run. So it's not something that's like career ending or like financially hurtful to her. It's just something that was personal. Like something she had personally worked on. Okay, it's not that it's not happening, but it is like one of those, it's being rescheduled and they're not giving the answer to when that reschedule will be for her. So something she had got bumped. But why? There's a feeling of like something was bumped. Someone, I don't know if someone promised her something or she just had like the gut feeling like, okay, I've done this, I've worked on this, they said I could have this, so I'm gonna do this. And then they're like, oh, we didn't tell you when that was gonna happen. And so it's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And they're like, well, we just gave you this thing. We just let you have something. But again, I feel like there's like personal solo stuff. I know she does personal solo songs, so I'm just wondering if she was supposed to have another solo thing that's supposed to be coming out and they're bumping it for something that is more group oriented. I don't know. I don't know if they're telling her that her solo stuff isn't as well received as she thought it would be. So I do think she's feeling a little overwhelmed. Or kind of maybe even at a loss of options that she thought she had. So I think there's some negotiations with solo work going on for her at the moment that she was going to, I think, thought was going to come sooner, and it looks like it's going to come a little later. Um, but we do have, like I said, like the Wheel of Fortune and the Chariot. So things for her will go okay as far as long run, but it's just not going short run how she expected in the moment right now. So energy checkup says it's like just renegotiating work stuff. I don't see too much personal things going on for her. Again, even in her personality reading, I didn't see a lot of personal stuff. Yeah, I see seeing a lot of her kind of feeling like she's got to stay where she is, and too many other people are involved in things for her liking. You know, she thought she was going to be in charge of some kind of project, but no, I'm not seeing. In fact, I think like her personal life feels like it's pretty stable. Maybe too many people kind of telling her what to do all the time, you know, but she's young. That's kind of how it is. But yeah, I don't think personally she's got a lot going on. It's all work stuff. So energy wise, I think she's okay. Like I said, just she's having to negotiate some work things about solo projects, maybe not coming out when she thought they were going to come out. But that's all I'm really getting. So I hope that lays some questions to rest for you. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Thank you again for the donation on the coffee page. And again, I'm sorry for just like the activity is going to be slow on this channel for a while. Of course, if people donate, I'm happy to do the readings. And, you know, like I said, otherwise, I don't know. I'll do them when I kind of feel it. And, you know, I just highly recommend making sure you subscribe so you can get notified when I do upload, and check it out then. But yeah, until that, I think it's going to be just a little bit more sporadic. So, you know, thanks for bearing with me, and I'll be back soon. And just, you know, taking it one day at a time. Thank you guys. I love you. Have a great day.